You're live.
I'm live now.
Do you want to test
There's
the sound?
audio as well going there. So,
It has the audio, yeah.
do you need a link or anything to post in the group from here?
Send it to one of us. I'll go into your page.
If you just go onto my page and take the link and send it in and just explain to people. And then
Okay.
just and tell anybody who's struggling just to go onto my channel
Okay.
and
And it'll show the live.
We need to
it'll show the live
Give
one.
people
Grand.
5 minutes to kind of log
Yeah.
on it or whatever, and then
Yeah.
back at it.
So actually, yeah, well,
New quiz
Good time for a
stream.
toilet break.
Yeah.
Anything like that if you need it.
New quiz stream.
Yeah. Just copy that link. Put
Oh,
it in
then
the-
no one knows. And what about that?
Put it in the live
Oh, then no one
comments.
knows. Oh.
Just get out of it. No, this is the new. This is the one we're working on. Or the old one actually. You
So
need
you
to
find
go
the
into
new
his
one.
channel.
This is
No, go into his channel down here. What was the old stream called? Yeah, and if you go to
This one's live,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and put the link in that.
sis. Oh, fuck's sake.
Oh, where's
Because I had to send it. 'Cause it
yeah, the live is even much better than that.
Because I was gonna say hi guys.
Hi guys, here's the new link.
Yeah, new
Go,
link.
and then just send in the link and then tell people to go to my channel. And
Or
they'll find it.
go to the
Go to
channel.
Chris's channel. You
Yeah.
should see it there.
See the new one, yeah.
Hi all. Chris. I hope Chris had. Chris had to set up a new link. Please click the
Into his channel.
below or
Oh yeah,
go
click the below link.
to his
YouTube channel.
channel for news stream.
New quiz name is called, what's it called, Chris?
Just new quiz, I think.
New
just-
quiz.
it's-
Yeah, it's the first one.
For news stream.
Perfect.
Oh, it didn't really link there, did it?
That'll be fine. I think
I'm
you
gonna
just
do it
copy and
again and
paste
see
it.
they'll see it. Oh, that's not working. I thought it was
It's grand.
part of the
No,
link.
it's grand. They'll just copy and paste or
Yeah.
otherwise go in.
So there's 8 watching that now, I think.
Okay. Grand.
Any further donations will be used to pay the internet bill.
Absolutely. Fucking disaster.
Well, we all disconnected our phones and our iPads
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all to make
yeah.
sure that it wouldn't.
Is the chat there? Is chat working?
Yeah, chat. Well, your man wrote that after I put mine on.
Oh yeah, no, I need
Is
the
that
chat and the new one.
That's
So if
fine.
anybody's watching the new stream, send in a chat there just to test
yeah.
it.
Just go to his channel.
Can people hear me on this one? I think there's 30. Yeah, there's a few people coming back.
Okay.
Send in comments. There should be comments available.
Yeah, sorry, one sec there. I'll get into it
Fuck. Where? Oh yeah.
You're live.
Okay. I'll copy and paste them in. Give me a second.
Yeah, you can copy.
We're almost there.
The channel's also disabled for that live stream.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and fix that now. Can you try and fix that there?
Yeah. Manage. It's not clicking into manage.
Yeah, I couldn't get to click into that either. But I have it here.
Okay.
Yeah, I have it here.
Let's mute the mic. You can hear him doing your thing.
So I have chat aloud there.
Okay, let me go on to the new one. To the new one. To the new one.
Right. I think people need to just refresh that.
Yeah. Okay, so refresh the screen then.
We can hear because there's
Right, can people hear it now and can people see it now, or what's the story?
way
Yeah,
better.
we should hear you and see you now.
And can you send in comments? Are you able to send in comments? Because it should be. Okay, I think comments are turned off, but I'm trying to fix that. But I think most people are tuning back in, but we're after losing like half the people that were watching, unfortunately. If you know anybody watching, try send the link to this one around. Unfortunately, there's not really much I can do. It just went to fucking shit, to be honest with you. And I lost most people there, but the sound is much better on this one, I think, and the video quality is much better on this one. I'm in desperate need of a new laptop, so I might get Child to try buying me one. But we'll go back through that round again, which was the sports round. And if anybody does join back in, I'll go back through those questions again for anybody who missed it. So question number one was... Yeah, it's round number 3. It's a sports round. I'll just go back through this again, and at the end of it, I might be able to enable live chat again. I just, for some reason, can't enable live chat at the minute. And again, if anybody can comment in the other one to let people know to switch over to this one, and if you know people that were doing it, send around the link, because people seem to be lost with it. I think some people still have no sound. I've changed the description. I've added all the answer sheets into the description. So you should be able to see that now. If you refresh it, if you try and refresh it, hopefully it should work. But let me know if not. I'll just fly through these ones again. Question 1 was, who were the only team to beat Manchester City in the Etihad last season in the Premier League? Question number 2 was, Team Ireland won 2 medals in the 2016 Olympics in which 2 sports? Question number 3 was, how many All-Ireland medals did Tomás O'Shea win with Kerry? Question number 4 was, in what year did Steve Staunton become Ireland manager? Question number 5 was, the Dubs have won the All-Ireland hurling title 6 times. In which decade did they last win it? So the Dubs have won the All-Ireland hurling title 6 times. In which decade did they last win it? And I'll give a bonus point if anybody knows exactly what year they won it. Question number 6 was to identify this sports person. And I'm not going to move it any closer because that's what did us the last time. I can see people are coming back now, so hopefully we'll get back up to where we were. Again, if people are having troubles with sound or anything, just refresh it and hopefully that should fix it. And sorry again, obviously the nature of doing these things live is that they go to absolute shit when technology isn't as good as it should be. And I desperately need a new laptop. Question number 7 then, I think that's where we lost everybody the last time, was question number 7. And again, I'll fly through these again just at the end. Question number 7 was, Tiger Woods completed a historic comeback last year when he won the Masters, which was his 15th major. But how many times has Tiger Woods won the Masters in Augusta? So how many times has Tiger Woods won the Masters? And then I'll give you a moment for that one before I move on to question number 8. So question number 7 was, Tiger Woods won his 15th major last year when he won the Masters? How many times has Tiger Woods won the Masters? I'm on a Mac now, a MacBook Air. I'm clearly moving over to a MacBook Air when I get a new laptop. This is way better. If I can only manage to turn on comments. But everybody, and I mean everybody, should feel free to send me texts or WhatsApps, and I'll read them out and slag people. Johnny Cantwell, stop texting me saying up the ra, please. And I just can't get chat on at the minute for some reason. But I'll try to fix that again. Question number 8 then in sports is, who defeated Michael van Gerwen in January of this year to win the PDC World Darts Championship for the first time? So who defeated Michael van Gerwen in January this year to win the PDC World Darts Championship for the first time? So question 1 was, who were the only team to beat Manchester City in the Premier League in the Etihad last season? Question number 2 was, Team Ireland won 2 medals in the 2016 Olympics. In which 2 sports? Question number 3, how many All-Ireland medals does Tomás O'Shea have for Kerry? Question number 4, in what year did Steve Staunton become Ireland manager? Question number 6, identify this sports person. Question number 7, Tiger Woods, question number 5 was, Dubs have won the All-Ireland hurling title 6 times. In which decade did they last win it? And I'll give a bonus point for the exact year. Question number 6 was, identify this person. Question 7 then, Tiger Woods won his 15th major last year when he won the Masters. How many times has Tiger won the Masters? Question number 8 then, who defeated Michael van Gerwen in January of this year to win the PDC World Darts Championship for the first time? And whilst people are filling those in, I'll go back through the answers to round 1 and 2. And again, apologies for anybody that we did lose. I think we had nearly 90 people tuning in. We're down to about 75. We're down to about 75 now, so at least we haven't lost too many. But apologies, just technology failed us. We'll go back through the rounds, through the answers to round 1 and 2. So round 1, how many countries make up the continent of Africa? The answer was B, 54. Question number 2, the Washington Monument is the tallest obelisk in the world. Where would you find the tallest obelisk in Europe? The answer to that is the Phoenix Park in Dublin. Question number 3, a couple of weeks ago, the Irish government sent out a plane to Peru to collect stranded Irish citizens. Lima is the capital of Peru. Lima is the capital of Peru. Identify the flag. The flag was Honduras. The outline of the country was Switzerland. It's not the same when you can't hear people's reactions to these answers when they're really disgusted that they got them wrong because they're convinced they got them right. Question number 6, Papua New Guinea does not use the US dollar. The rest of them do, but Papua New Guinea does not. Question number 7, the longest river in Europe is the River Volga in Russia. People will disagree with that and say Russia's not in Europe, but it is. The River Volga is. Question 8, how many counties border Offaly? The answer is 7. 7 counties border Offaly. I'm not going to try to attempt to throw them off at the top of my head, but if anybody got them all right, you get a bonus point for that. Round 2 was entertainment. So in what year did Adele release her most recent album entitled 25? It was 2015. The 4 movies were Notting Hill, Jaws, The Shining, and Risky Business. So Notting Hill, Jaws, Shining, and Risky Business. I'll give a point for each one that you got right. Question number 3, who had a hit single in 1979 with My Sharona? That's the Knack. The Knack had a hit single with My Sharona. Question number 4, Which Irish influencer raised over €60,000 for Pieta House last week? That was Louise Cooney, the fashion blogger, influencer. In what song would you find the following lyrics? It is another head hangs lowly, child is slowly taken, and the violence calls for silence. Who are we mistaken? That was Zombie by the Cranberries. Question number 6. Name the Englishman who famously cheated on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? That was Charles Ingram. Question number 7. Actors Chris Wally and Alex Murphy are the stars of which Irish television series? That was The Young Offenders. And question number 8. How many UK number ones did the Beatles have? It's 17. And we've just done round 3, so I'll wait till we do round 4 before I give out the answers to round 3. Round 4 is probably going to be difficult to do, given that I can't share the screen. But we can move it up to it. So round 4 is Dingbats. So for anybody not familiar with Dingbats, Dingbats is essentially a puzzles quiz where you say what you see and you kind of have to figure it out and put it together. So there's a few examples here. This isn't the question. The question, I'll move on to that in a moment, but this is just for an example. So number 1, no idea, because it's dia, there's no I. So you say what you see, no idea. Number 2 is sex before marriage. I didn't make these, by the way, just to be clear about that. Number 3, room for one at the top. Number 6 is that's besides the point. So there's a point and that's besides the point. Number 5 is missing in action. Number 8 is merry-go-round. Number 9 is rush hour or running out of time. And number 11 is seal of approval. So they're just as examples. So the questions and the dingbat phrases that you have to guess for this round, and there's 12 of them. So I'll give plenty of time for this. And so if you open up, obviously, the link to round 4, there should be 12 spaces to fill these out. So number 1 to 12, and do them as best you can. And I'll leave this here for a few minutes. And I'll leave you all to figure them out. I'll give a few minutes for that whilst I try to figure out if I can get the sound back or the comment section back on the YouTube video. So do your best to figure those out based on the examples that I've given. I know people will want to see the examples again, so I will go back to them in a few moments, but I'll give people a few minutes first of all to try figure those out. The word on number 5, if anybody is struggling to see it, because it's kind of difficult to see, the word on number 5 is wink. So it's the same word all throughout, and it just says wink. saying they can't see number 9 correctly, so I'm just going to move this slightly. Right, I'll just give a couple of more minutes for that. Right, I think that's enough time for that. If you can't get them by now, you're probably not going to get them. But feel free to draw them out and see if you have a few more minutes before you submit them. Also, the chat function is back. So if you refresh your page, you should have the chat function there. So if everybody just wants to click refresh, chat should be back. Right, so I'll give a moment for people to submit those, and whilst people are submitting those, I'll give you the answers to round 3, which was the sports round. A few people asking for a little bit more time. Look, I'll move it up a little bit whilst I'm giving the answers to round 3. Or who were the only team to beat Manchester City in the Etihad last season? The answer to that was Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Number 2, Team Ireland won 2 medals in the 2016 Olympics. In which 2 sports? The answer was rowing and sailing. So it was Gary and Paul O'Donovan and Annalise Murphy in the 2016 Olympics. Question number 3 was, how many All-Ireland medals did Tomás O'Shea win for Kerry? He won 5 All-Ireland medals for Kerry. Question number 4 was, in what year did Steve Staunton win or become Ireland manager? The answer to that was 2006. Became Ireland manager in 2006. Question number 5, the Dubs have won the All-Ireland title 6 times. The All-Ireland hurling title 6 times. What decade did they last? Question number 6, the sports person was George Best, obviously. Question number 7, Tiger Woods won his 15th major last year when he won the Masters. How many times has he won the Masters? He's won the Masters 5 times. And question number 8, who defeated Michael Van Gerwen to win the PDC World Championship, Darts Championship for the first time in January? It was Peter Snakebite Wright. I'll accept anything to do with Snakebite or Peter Wright. So that's number 3. Move on now to number 5, and I'll have to stop somewhere for a quick break just to top the scores before, maybe I might do that before the final round. So just before the final round, I'll stop, tot up the scores, see what the standings are, and then push on for the final round. So we'll keep going for the moment, because obviously we had a big break when it all fell apart and went to shit. The answer to the Dubs question again was, in what decade did they last win the hurling All-Ireland? It was the 1930s, and the exact year was 1938. So the exact year was 1938, and Tomás O'Shea won 5 All-Irelands with Kerry. So those are the 2 All-Ireland questions. So round number 5. Whose line is it anyway? So these are all quotes. They're all well-known quotes. Some of them are extremely famous quotes. Some of them are maybe not as well-known, but they should be. Most are Irish. Some are not Irish. So see how you go. So again, open up the link to round number 5 and fill in all the details. And begin with number 1. So you just simply have to say who said it. You don't have to say when they said it or what it was about. You just have to say who said it. So C is in coppers. Who famously said C is in coppers following Dublin's famous 2011 All-Ireland win? Who said C is in coppers? So C is in coppers. Feel free to write these down on a pen and paper if you need to scribble down, because I'll have to move on from them, but you might need a moment to figure out who might have said it. Number 2, what well-known knob said, everyone argues, then we do what I say. Everyone argues, then we do what I say. It's another Irish person. Yeah, and for anyone struggling, if chat is still disabled for anybody, refresh it. It should be back working. It's showing me that it's working anyway, but I'm not sure if it's working for everybody. So number 3, bit of a tougher one for the weekend that's in it. It's in respect of the Good Friday Agreement, who said the path to peace is never easy. They have chosen hope over hate, the promise of the future of the poison of the past. It's a well-known Good Friday Agreement quote. This is round number 5. Sorry if anybody's missing it. Round number 5. And I'll go back through if people were knocked off for a long time or couldn't get back in. if there are people missing from certain rounds and that. And again, if chat isn't working, give it a refresh. If sound goes or anything, just give it a refresh. And I'll go back through stuff that people missed. But that quote is, and it's question number 3. It's in round number 5. So and I'll go through them all again. But anyway, the path to peace is never easy. They have chosen hope over hate, the promise of the future over the poison of the past. Number 4, you can stick your World Cup up your bollocks. I meant to say as well, by the way, apologies if there are children watching. There's 1 or 2 bad words, but nothing too bad. But yeah, who famously said you can stick your World Cup up your bollocks? That's one nobody should get wrong. So you can stick your World Cup up your bollocks. Apologies to any of my colleagues that are watching. Obviously, you're not used to me using language like that because I'm such an angel in the workplace. But you can stick your World Cup up your bollocks. Number 5, I suppose a ride is out of the question. Then, Very famous Irish quote. So who said that? I suppose a ride is out of the question then. I was just asked to repeat that. And there's a couple of options that I might take for this one, so just write down what you know. So I suppose a ride is out of the question then. I promise that's the last one with bad language in it, so to speak. It's not even that bad, but you know what I mean? In case there's any kids watching. So I suppose a ride is out of the question then. It is during the lockdown anyway. Number 6, they breed like rabbits and multiply like vermin. They breed like rabbits and multiply like vermin. Who famously said that? They breed like rabbits and multiply like vermin. Who famously said that about Catholics? They breed like rabbits and multiply like vermin. If somebody in the kitchen wants to bring me in another one of them with a lime in it, that'd be great, thanks. So number 7. When you're lying drunk at the airport, you're Irish. But when you win an Oscar, you're British. What Irish actress said that? When you're lying drunk at the airport, you're Irish. When you win an Oscar, you're British. And the answer isn't Saoirse Ronan. So what Irish actress said? When you're lying drunk at the airport, you're Irish. And when you win an Oscar, you're British. Sorry, if anybody in the kitchen wasn't paying attention there, I'll have another one of these when you're ready. Actress, female, an actress, what Irish actress said? When you're lying drunk at the airport, you're Irish, and when you win an Oscar, you're British. And I'll spin back through these anyway at the end of this round. Number 8, slightly longer quote. An Irish sporting manager said, People say going out in a match that we're prepared to die to win this game, but that's a dangerous thing to say. You should never say you're prepared to die to win. You should always be prepared to kill to win a game. That's the difference. So what Irish Sporting Manager said, people say going out in a match that we're prepared to die to win this game, but that's a dangerous thing to say. You should never say you're prepared to die to win. You should always be prepared to kill to win a game. That's the difference. A famous Irish Sporting Manager said that. So listen. Cheers. So I'll just read that once more. People say going out in a match that we're prepared to die to win this game, but that's a dangerous thing to say. You should never say you're prepared to die to win. You should always be prepared to kill to win a game. That's the difference. Famous Irish Sporting Manager said that. And again, for the drunk at the airport Oscar one, that was an actress, as in a woman, an actress. If anybody asks that again, tough shit. It's a waiter, Jack, as well. But anyway, number 9, some people say I look like me dad. The band will do. I'm not looking for the exact person, but the band will do. I just said Sporting Manager. So for that last one, the people say going out into a match that we're prepared to die to win. That's just an Irish Sporting Manager, so it could be any sport. And then number 9, it's number 9. Some people say I look like me dad or my dad. So I'll give them a moment there, and then I'll spin back through them, and then I'll give the answers to round number 4. Right, so I'll spin back through them real quick. So Sias in Coppers, who said that after Dublin's 2011 All-Ireland final win over Kerry? Sias in Coppers. Number 2, everybody argues, then we do what I say. Oh, well-known knob said that. Number 3, the path to peace is never easy. They have chosen hope over hate and the promise of the future over the poison of the past. What political figure said that about the Good Friday Agreement? Number 4, you can stick your World Cup up your bollocks. You can stick your World Cup up your bollocks. Number 5, I suppose a ride is out of the question then. I suppose it is. Number 6, they breed like rabbits and multiply like vermin. They breed like rabbits and multiply like vermin. We said that about Catholics. Number 7, when you're lying drunk at the airport, you're Irish. When you win an Oscar, you're British. What Irish actress said that? And it wasn't Saoirse Ronan. Number 8, people say going out in a match that they're prepared to die to win this game, but that's a dangerous thing to say. You should never say you're prepared to die to win. You should always be prepared to kill to win a game. That's the difference. What Irish Sporting Manager said that. And finally, number 9, some people say I look like me dad. Right. So before I move on to round number 6, if you want to get your links, so get the answers to that sent in, get them submitted. And before I move on to round number 6, I'll give you answers to round number 4, which were the puzzles. So as you're finishing up those quotes, as you're finishing up those quotes and submitting them and opening up the tab to round number 6, I'll just give the answers to the Dingbats round, which is round number 4. The answer to number 1 was short-sighted. So short-sighted. Number 2 was rock star. Rock star. Rock Gibraltar star. Rock star. Number 3 was pat on the back. So pat on the back. Number 4 was ants in your pants, or ants in their pants, or my pants, or whatever, but ants in the pants. Number 5 was 40 winks. I'll be very lax on that one because it was so difficult to see. But 5 is 40 winks. Number 6 is balancing act. Balancing act for number 6. Number 7 was head in the sand. So head in the sand. Number 8 was head on collision. So head on collision. So principal is the head, he's on collision. Number 9, welcome back. So it's welcome backwards. So it's welcome back. Number 10 is United States. So it was Florida mixed with Idaho. So it's United States. Number 11 was a drop in the ocean. So a drop in the ocean. And number 12 was up for grabs. So up for grabs. Up for grabs. So I haven't checked in to see how people are doing yet, but I will check before probably after round 6 actually, since we only have 2 rounds left after that. So I'll probably check in on that, let people get a few drinks after round 6, and plow on then with round 7 or round 8 and announce the winners fairly quickly after that. So we'll move on now to round 6. Round 6 is current affairs. So you should have your answer sheets opened and ready to go. And for current affairs, there are no coronavirus questions because everybody is sick of hearing about it. So I thought I'd have the quiz free of everything to do with the coronavirus. Question number 1, there are 158 seats in the Dáil. How many seats are there in the Seanad? So there are 158 seats in the Dáil. How many are there in the Seanad? So there are 158 seats in the Dáil. How many seats are there in the Seanad? Question number 2, it's multiple choice, or it should be on the answer sheet anyway. Question number 2, this year's general election in February took place on Saturday. It was the first time it took place. It was only the second general election to take place on a Saturday. The first since which year? Was it A, 1918, B, 1937, C, 1954, or D, 1977? So this year's general election took place on a Saturday for the first time since which year? A, 1918, B, 1937, C, 1954, or D, 1977? So A, B, C, or D. A, 1918, B, 1937, C, 1954, or D, 1977? Question number 3. In what year did Charlie Haughey first become Taoiseach? In what year did Charlie Haughey first become Taoiseach? So question number 3, in what year did Charlie Haughey first become Taoiseach? Question number 4, what party in the US has had more presidents, the Republicans or the Democrats? What party in the US has had more presidents, the Republicans or the Democrats? So question number 4, what party in the US has had more presidents, Republicans or Democrats? Yeah, some of these questions aren't exactly current, but it's still just called current affairs. Get over yourself, Sean Mannion. And whoever else's question, and Charlie Haughey being a current affair. Charlie Haughey will always be a current affair in Ireland. Question number 5. In what year was Nelson Mandela released from prison? In what year was Nelson Mandela released from prison? So question number 5, what year was Nelson Mandela released from prison? Thanks, Johnny. Question number 6, Pedro Sanchez is the Prime Minister of which European country? Pedro Sanchez is the Prime Minister of which European country? I was really struggling for current affairs questions today at about 12 o'clock that weren't going to have anything to do with the coronavirus. So Pedro Sanchez is the Prime Minister of which European country? Johnny Cantwell, flattery will get you nowhere. You won't get extra points. But obviously flattery is totally welcome. But it won't get you extra points. Pedro Sanchez is the Prime Minister of which European country? Pedro Sanchez is the Prime Minister of which European country? That's question number 6, in case anybody's lost on what number we're on. Question number 7, how many member states are there in the European Union? So question number 7, how many member states are there in the European Union currently? Obviously. Fiona, I'll go back over all these questions again. We're just on round number 6. So I'll go back through them again. So question number 7, how many member states are there in the European Union? And question number 8, again, it should be multiple choice. how many constituencies are there in Ireland? So how many constituencies are there in the general election in Ireland? How many constituencies? Is it A, 39, B, 44, C, 47, or D, 53? So how many constituencies are there in Ireland? Is it A, 39, B, 44, C, 47, or D, 53? So I'll just read that out one more time. How many constituencies are there in Ireland? Is it A, 39, B, 44, C, 47, or D, 53? So I'll fly back to that. That was round number 6. So I'll just read them out again because somebody else didn't hear them. Constituencies in Ireland, is it A, 39, B, 44, C, 47, or D, 53? So I'll just go back to that. Was round number 6. So question number 1, there are 158 seats in the Dáil. How many are there in the Seanad? So there are 158 seats in the Dáil. How many are there in the Seanad? Question number 2, this year's general election in February took place on a Saturday for the first time since what year? A, 1918, B, 1937, C, 1954, or D, 1977. So that's A, 1918, B, 1937, C, 1954, or D, 1977. Question number 3, in what year did Charlie Haughey first become Taoiseach? So in what year did Charlie Haughey first become Taoiseach? Question number 4, which party in the US has had more presidents, the Democrats or the Republicans? So which party in the US has had more presidents, the Democrats or the Republicans? Question number 5 was what year was Nelson Mandela released from prison? So question number 5 was what year was Nelson Mandela released from prison? Question number 6 was Pedro Sanchez is the Prime Minister of which European country? So Pedro Sanchez is the Prime Minister of which European country? Question number 7, how many member states are there in the European Union? So how many member states are there in the European Union? And question number 8 is how many constituencies are there in Ireland? There are A, 39, B, 44, C, 47, or D, 53. So that was round number 6. If anybody missed anything, let me know. And I'll call them out again, but I'll just go back through the answers to round number 5, and then I'll take a quick break to tot up the scores. Look, unfortunately, the break was supposed to be to tot up the scores earlier, but my laptop went to hell. So I couldn't do any of that while I was trying to fix it and get a new laptop up and running. So I'll have to take a quick break after I give out these answers and take a quick break, get a few drinks or whatever. I won't end the stream, so you won't have to go looking for another stream, or you won't have to reload it or anything like that. I'll just leave it and I'll tot up the scores and see what the story is. So the answers to round number 5 were C as in Coppers was Brian Cullen. So Brian Cullen on the Dublin football team when they beat Kerry said famously C as in Coppers. Number 2, everyone argues I'm going to do what I say. That was Bono. Because who else would say that? That was Bono. Question number 3 was the path to peace is never easy. They have chosen hope over hate, the promise of the future over the poison of the past. That was Bill Clinton in respect of the Good Friday Agreement. That was Bill Clinton. You can stick your World Cup up your bollocks. That was Roy Keane, obviously. I suppose a ride is out of the question was Desi Curley. I'd have taken Colin Meaney for that either, but we'll see what people put. They breed like rabbits and multiply like vermin. Ian Paisley said that about Catholics. So Ian Paisley, or the Reverend Ian Paisley. And when you're lying drunk at the airport, you're Irish. When you win an Oscar, you're British. That was Brenda Fricker. Brenda Fricker, if anybody remembers her, as the bird woman in Home Alone. And people say going out to win a match, we're prepared to die to win this game, but that's a dangerous thing to say. You should never say you're prepared to die to win a game. You should always be prepared to win a game, to kill to win a game. That's the difference. That was Brian Cody said that. And number 9, some people say I look like my dad. That was Bewitched, obviously, in C'est La Vie. So that's the end of round 6. We're up to date. I'll give the answers to round 6 when I come back, and then we'll fire into round 7, round 8, and then quick check on the scores and who the winners are. Apologies again for everything falling to shit there during the 3rd round. But I'll get back as quickly as we can on this, and go get yourselves a few drinks and take a break and all the rest. I'll be back in a bit. Thanks. I couldn't see it. Guys, look. We'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes. About 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so I'll give people a kind of a couple of moments to realise that we're back. Again, if sound is gone for anybody, just refresh it, or if there's any difficulties, just refresh it. And I'll give an update now in a few minutes on the state of play because it's gotten quite interesting. Thanks very much, Rona. So I'm going to give the cash prize for the best team name. I don't know who this is, so I apologies if it ends up being like my family or that. But because I could just see the name, so I couldn't see who it was. So I narrowed it down to Big Cat Entertainment and That Bitch Carol Baskin as the best team names. And I'm going to give the €50 cash prize to That Bitch Carol Baskin as the best team name. Some of your team names are shocking. You need to do better on team names for quizzes. But yeah, so whoever was That Bitch Carol Baskin as their team name, they win the €50 prize. And for anybody who doesn't get the reference, watch The Tiger King on Netflix. The state of play in terms of the quiz is this: there are 20 something people on the same score. I got 57 responses to every single round, and most of it is automated and all the rest, so it's grand. But there's about 20 something people on the same score. So instead of reading out all of them, and because I have 2 more rounds to do and I need to narrow it down, and there could be a tiebreaker and all the rest, there's literally nothing in it between 20 teams. Like there's a few on the same, and then there's a few where there's a point difference, and there's a few where there's 2 or there's 3 of a point difference. So it is all to win first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the last 2 rounds. I'm going to have a quick look at it. If there's too many, if it's too close or whatever, and I can't calculate it up quick enough, what I'll have to do is I'll have to wait till the morning and give an announcement of a winner in the morning. If it's tied completely, I'll do a tiebreaker question. But it looks kind of at the minute, given the amount of response I got, I might have to wait to just make an announcement on social media tomorrow and send out a few messages as to who was the winner. Unfortunately, and most of that, to be honest, was down to the fact that my laptop failed earlier and I just couldn't correct anything when we took that break. Sorry about that, but at the moment people have kept donating, and I think the donations are up to about 17 or 1800 euro at the minute, so thanks very much for that. I'll give the answers to round 6 and push on with the questions in round 7. So the answers to round 6, and then we'll see where we are after that. The answers to round 6 were, there are 158 seats in the Dáil. How many seats are there in the Seanad? There's 60 seats in the Seanad. There are 60 seats in the Seanad. In what year did we last have the election on a Saturday? It was 1918, so it was A, 1918. Question number 3, in what year did Charlie Haughey first become Taoiseach? That was 1979. Question number 4, which party has had more presidents in the US, the Democrats or the Republicans? The answer was the Republicans. In what year was Nelson Mandela released from prison in South Africa? The answer was 1990. Pedro Sanchez is the Prime Minister of Spain. Question number 7, there are 27 EU member states. And number 8, how many constituencies are there in Ireland? There are 39 constituencies in Ireland. The donation link isn't in the news stream. If anybody is still looking to donate, it's www.idonate.ie/Quiztopher. So QUIZTOPHER. Because obviously I think I'm really clever, so I worked the word quiz into my name. So it's www.idonate.ie/Quiztopher. For anyone who wants to donate. And again, thanks very much to everybody who has. And as I said before as well, obviously this is a very difficult time for a lot of people with job losses and that, so there's absolutely no compunction on anybody to donate. If it's a difficulty for you at the moment, absolutely don't feel obliged. And thanks very much for all the support. Question number 7 was 27 EU member states, and how many constituencies are there in Ireland? There are 39. And we'll push on then with round number 7. So this is round number 7. The round is The Chase. So this is just questions from episodes of The Chase. So it's completely random knowledge. Some of them are kind of ridiculous, but however. Question 8 is quite a good one, but or round 8, I mean, is quite good. But round 7. So open up the link to round number 7 to fill in the answers, and we'll get going. So round 7, question 1. The dish beef stroganoff is named after a diplomat from which country? The dish beef stroganoff is named after a diplomat from which country? No, the last round is not about the IRA, for those who are wondering. Question number 1, the dish beef stroganoff is named after a diplomat from which country? Question number 2, which era came first? So A, the Cenozoic era, B, the Mesozoic era, or C, the Paleozoic era. So which era came first? A, the Cenozoic, Cenozoic, B, the Mesozoic era, Mesozoic, or C, the Paleozoic era, Paleozoic. So which came first? A, B, or C? A, Cenozoic era, B, Mesozoic era, or C, Paleozoic? Which came first? Question number 3. Which baseball star is mentioned in Simon and Garfunkel's song Mrs. Robinson? Which baseball star is mentioned in Simon and Garfunkel's song Mrs. Robinson? Some of the questions are multiple choice because they're from the Chase. Some were from the quickfire rounds in the Chase. So some have multiple choice and some don't. So question number 3, what baseball star is mentioned in the song Simon and Garfunkel's song Mrs. Robinson? Question number 4, what 1980s girl group shares the name with a bracelet worn on the wrist? What 1980s girl group shares their name with a bracelet worn on the wrist? Given out that the question's not been hard enough, take it up with the Chase and take it up with ITV and Bradley Walsh. Johnny? Nothing but time for daytime TV, Macker. Reruns on Challenge. Question number 4, which 1980s group shares their name with a bracelet worn on the wrist? Question number 5, maybe this one might be hard enough for you, Johnny. In Greek mythology, who is the goddess of the full moon? A, Iris, B, Nyx, Nyx, or C, Selene, Selene? So A, Iris, Iris, B, Nyx, Nyx, or C, Selene, Selene? In Greek mythology, who is the goddess of the full moon? A, Iris, B, Nyx, or C, Selene? We're past €1,800 now, so thanks very much to everybody who keeps donating. It just keeps coming in. So thank you so much. Question number 6. Question number 6. Which saint was the brother of Saint Peter? Which saint was the brother of Saint Peter? So which saint was the brother of Saint Peter? So question number 5 was in Greek mythology, who is the goddess of the full moon? A, Iris, B, Nyx, or C, Selene? And question number 6 is, which saint was the brother of Saint Peter? Which saint was the brother of Saint Peter? Question number 7, over what distance is the decathlon hurdles run? So over what distance is the decathlon hurdles run? Is it A, 100 meters, B, 110 meters, or C, 150 meters? So over what distance is the decathlon hurdles run? Is it A, 100 meters, B, 110 meters, or C, 150 meters? 150 meters. So A, 100 meters, B, 110 meters, or C, 150 meters. And question number 8. A Bounty chocolate bar has a filling of what? A Bounty chocolate bar has a filling of what? So question number 8, a Bounty chocolate bar has a filling of what? I'll just fly through them again in a second. So question number 1, the dish beef stroganoff is named after a diplomat from which country? Question number 2, which came first, the Cenozoic era, the Mesozoic era, or the Paleozoic era? So A, Cenozoic, B, Mesozoic, or C, Paleozoic, which came first? Number 3, what baseball star is mentioned in the Simon and Garfunkel song, Mrs. Robinson? Number 4, what 1980s girl group shares the name with a bracelet worn on the wrist? Number 5, in Greek mythology, who is the goddess of the full moon? A, Iris, B, Nyx, or C, Selene? 6, which saint was the brother of St. Peter? 7, over what distance is a decathlon hurdles run? Is it A, 100 meters, B, 110 meters, or C, 150 meters? 8, a Bounty chocolate bar has a filling of what? So we'll move on to round number 8 now in a minute. So we'll move on to round number 8. And this is the final round. I think it's one people will enjoy. This is an 80s and 90s nostalgia round. So an 80s and 90s nostalgia round. So I'll give you a moment to open up your answer sheets for round number 8 and to submit the answers for that one. And after round 8, I'll give out the answers to round 7 and so on again. The top score after round 6, I don't have that information to hand, Jack. But I'll do up statistics afterwards in the next couple of days. Answers to round 6, I already gave them, Matt. You obviously weren't paying attention. I'll fly through them again. The answers to round 6 were there are 60 seats in the Shannon. 1918 was the last time we had a general election on a Saturday. Charlie High first became Taoiseach in 1979. Good man, cheers.
There you are, sir.
My father won't be happy at you. Charlie High became Taoiseach in 1979. The Republicans have had more presidents than the Democrats. Nelson Mandela was released from prison in 1990. Pedro Sanchez is the Prime Minister of Spain. There are 27 EU member states, and there are 39 constituencies in Ireland. 39 constituencies in Ireland. I'll check it. Someone has tried to correct me on the. Someone has tried to correct me on the 27 EU member states. I'll check to make sure, but as far as I'm concerned, I was aware there were 28 EU member states until the UK left, and there is now 27 EU member states since the UK left. But I'll check that to make sure. I won't mark anybody wrong if I'm wrong. And give me a moment now, we'll start the nostalgia 80s round. Some people have suggested that the current affairs round should have been the nostalgia round, and those people can fuck themselves. Question number 1 on the 80s and 90s nostalgia round. Who created Kermit the Frog? Who created Kermit the Frog? So question number 1, who created Kermit the Frog? So question number 1 in the 80s and 90s nostalgia, who created Kermit the Frog? Question number 2, in the original Power Rangers, how many Power Rangers were there? And I'll give a bonus point if you can tell me the colour of each. So, how many Power Rangers were there? And I'll give a bonus point if you get all the colours right. So, question number 3 then. Before it was Snickers, what was the chocolate bar known as? Before it was Snickers, what was the chocolate bar known as? What was the name of this chocolate bar before it was Snickers? I'm just watching the stream here on another laptop. So there's a massive delay in it. But question number 3, before it was Snickers, what was it known as? And question number 5, finish the line from this famous advert. It's a crop picture, so don't worry about it. You won't really need to see it to know anyway. Finish the line from this famous advert. Them bones need calcium. Them bones need calcium. So finish it off. Them bones need calcium. Them bones need calcium. And what's the last line? Porter Coakley, it was the year the Galways were liberated from the Indians, and also the year the Ice Age ended, or the day the Ice Age ended, actually. But question number 5, finish the line from the advert. Them bones need calcium. Them bones need calcium. That's the advert for anyone. That's a clip from an image from the advert for anyone who can remember it. Believe it or not, that was the best image I could find of that advert. That's how old it is. So finish the line from the advert. Them bones need calcium. Them bones need calcium. So question number 6. Oh yeah, it's question number 6. Question 4. What was question 4? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Question number 1 was who created Kermit the Frog? Question number 2 was how many Power Rangers were there, and a bonus point for the colour of each. Question number 3 was before it was Snickers, what was it known as? Question number 4 then was them bones need calcium. Them bones need calcium. Finish the line. Question number 5 then From what movie is this scene? What movie is this scene? Yeah, apologies, I had the question wrong there. So from what movie is this scene? So from what movie was this scene? Famous movie. And that is question 5. So 1 was who created Kermit the Frog. 2 was how many Power Rangers were there. 3, before it was Snickers, what was it known as? 4, then Bones and Bonesy Calcium. 5, then is this question, what was this movie from? And question number 6, what were these dolls called? What were these dolls called? I'll move that up again for you to have a look. But what were these dolls called? So what were these dolls called? What were these dolls called? Question number 8. Movie Footloose, starring Kevin Bacon, was released in which decade? The 80s or the 90s? So the movie Footloose, starring Kevin Bacon, was released in the 80s or the 90s? So the hit movie, a few people are saying I'm gone. Can anybody still hear me or see me? Sound is gone. Or if anybody has the sound gone, refresh it. Yeah, back. So yeah, sorry, I was getting questions mixed up there. If I was wrong on anything, just it was a question back more so than anything. So question number 7 then was the Footloose movie starring Kevin Bacon was released in which decade? The 80s or the 90s? Yeah, question 7 is the Footloose one. So I'll fly back through them now, right? Who created Kermit the Frog was question number 1. In the original question number 2 was how many Power Rangers were there? Question number 3, before it was Snickers, what was it known as? Question number 5, finished the line from the advert, then Bones and Bonesy Calcium, then Bonesy Calcium. Question number 6, what 80s movie? Sorry, question number 5, what 80s movie is this from? Question number 6, what were these dolls called? Question number 7 then, the Footloose movie starring in which decade? The 80s or the 90s? Yeah, obviously not Corona for me, getting the questions mixed up. That's because there was a mistake in my questions. But and then question number 8 then, question number 8, decade was the Tamagotchi released, the 80s or the 90s? In which decade was the Tamagotchi released, the 80s or the 90s? All right. I thought we had a coronavirus on. So I'll fly through them again. Question number 1, who created Kermit the Frog? Question number 2, in the original Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, how many Power Rangers were there? And if you can give me all of the colours, I'll give a bonus point. Question number 3, before it was Snickers, what was it known as? Question number 4, finish the line from the advert, then bones need calcium, then bones need calcium. Question number 5, what 80 movies is this image from? What 80 movie is this image from? Question number 6 then, what were these dolls called? What was the name of these dolls? And question number 7, the Footloose movie starring Kevin Bacon was released in which decade? I'll actually give a bonus point there if anybody can tell me what year it was exactly released in. But was it released in the 80s or the 90s? And if you give me the exact year, I'll give you a bonus point. And then question number 8 was in what decade was the Tamagotchi released? In what decade was the Tamagotchi released? Again, if you can tell me the year, I'll give you a bonus point for that too. So are people happy with that? If you submit, just submit. So look, I'll go through them again real quick on that one because I kept getting them wrong, so there's no surprise that people are confused. Question 1, who created Kermit the Frog? Question number 2, in the original Power Rangers, how many Power Rangers were there? Question number 3, before it was Snickers, what was it known as? Question number 4, finish the line from the advert, then bones need calcium, then bones need calcium. What's the last line there? Question number 5, what 80s movie is this image from? Then question number 6, what dolls are these? Question number 7, the Footloose movie starring Kevin Bacon was released in which decade, the 80s or the 90s? And question number 8 then was in which decade was the Tamagotchi released? And if you give me the year for that, I'll give you a bonus point. I'll give you a bonus point for Kevin Bacon as well if you give me the year Footloose came out. That's it in terms of rounds and questions. Yeah, I'm going to try go tot up now. So I'll give it another few minutes and I'll see what the story is. There's a good chance that because I've gotten so many responses, there's a good chance that I might not be able to get what the exact winner is, given the difficulties that I had with technology earlier. So I might have to wait and just send it out tomorrow to everybody. But either way, I'll come back in a couple of minutes just to wrap up. And if I can give the winner, I'll give the winner. And if I can't, I'll explain that all and I'll make an announcement on it tomorrow and send it out to everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it, but I'll wrap up and give us about 5 minutes. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Right, I'm back. I'll just give the people a couple of moments there. Thanks very much for the kind messages and the congratulations. Very much appreciate it. And King Galvin, fuck off. I'm from Kilkenny. Right, so right. So I'm gonna wrap things up now. I've had an absolutely overwhelming response to the quiz. The response to every round was huge. There was, over 50 responses for every single round, and I've used Google Docs, and they are self-correcting. But at the same time, I still have to check that because, for example, if somebody puts in the zombies, the cranberries as an answer, but they put a comma or they put a dash or they misspell it, it won't pick it up even though they've gotten the question right. And I don't want to give, it's a good prize. It's 3 €30 SuperValu vouchers. It's €90 worth of shopping at a time when all people are doing at the minute is spending their money on groceries. So I want to give it out to the correct winners, and that's going to take me a while to make sure. So I'll announce it tomorrow. I have everybody's email address. I'll do up a video and I'll send it out to everybody by email. And I'll put it up on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. So you'll see it no matter what. And I'm sorry. And it's mostly down to the fact that I couldn't do anything when I took the break halfway through because that was to sort out the sound and the laptop and everything. And also because I didn't anticipate such a massive response from people to the quiz. So I will announce the winners tomorrow. I'll give the answers to round 7 and 8 now as well. And then I'll announce how much I've raised, or we've raised, you've all raised. And Nora, I can tell you definitely didn't win anyway. But the answers to round 7 and 8 were as follows.
Chris, answers to the rounds.
Yeah, that's all I'm doing now. So the answers to round 7 and 8. Bear with me. So the answers to round 7, or the dish beef stroganoff is named after a diplomat from which country? The answer is Russia. Which era came first? That was C, the Paleozoic era came first. We're currently in the Cenozoic era, for anybody who's interested. Joe DiMaggio is the baseball player mentioned in the song Mrs. Robinson. So it's Where Have You Gone, Joe DiMaggio. Number 4, which 1980s girl group shares the name with a bracelet worn on the wrist? The answer to that is the Bangles. Number 5, in Greek mythology, who is the goddess of the full moon? The answer to that was C, Selene. 6, which saint is the brother of St. Peter? The answer to that was St. Andrew. 7, over what distance is the decathlon hurl run? That was B, 110 meters. 8, a bounty chocolate as a filling of what? It's coconut. I expect most people would have gotten that. Round 8 then, question 1, who created Kermit the Frog? The answer was Jim Henson. Who created Kermit the Frog? The answer was Jim Henson. Number 2, in the original Power Rangers, there were 6 Power Rangers, and they were red, black, blue, green, yellow, and pink. Number 4, before it was Snickers, it was Marathon. 1 was Kermit the Frog, Jim Henson. 2, the Power Rangers, there were 6, red, black, green, yellow, and pink. 3, Snickers was Marathon. 4, finished the advert, then bones and bones in calcium, then bones in calcium, and that's a natural law. That's a natural law was the answer to that one. What 80s movie was the image in? That was Stand By Me from the movie Stand By Me. The dolls were Cabbage Patch Kids. The Footloose came out in the 80s. I think it was 1984. I'll check that and give the bonus point if anybody got it. And number 8 was the Tamagotchis, came out in the 90s. I think that was 96 as well. So that was round 7 and round 8. So that's all of the answers. And as I said, in case anybody missed it, I'll give out the answer. I'll give out who the winner is tomorrow. I give out the €50 cash prize for the best team name, which was that fucking bitch Carol Baskin. I don't know who that is until I check it out later on, what email address is with that team name. But so €50 for them. And then the 3 super value vouchers will work out with whoever the team that wins it is. And I'll announce that as early as possible tomorrow. Other than that, just to say thanks very much to everybody for kind of joining in and tuning in and doing the quiz and supporting it and supporting Childline and ISPCC. I think the current amount, and like thanks everybody for like people just keep donating, and the donation link will be open till I think about Thursday. I think it's almost at 1,900 at the minute. It's at 1,911 euro at the minute. So if I get up to $2,000, that would be absolutely incredible. It makes a massive difference for Childline, who have had a massive spike in demand for their services. And whilst I have a bit of an audience here, I can see there's about 74 people watching. So if you'll indulge me for a minute, I just wanted to say a few things. That obviously we're living in an incredibly unprecedented time. And whilst the negative of that is extremely obvious, there is a huge amount of positive too in the way that people are engaging, and the community support and community engagement is probably at a level that ironically we haven't seen since before the age of the internet. Laura Whitmore said last week that as the real world got a little bit scarier, the internet got a little bit nicer. And I think we've kind of seen that come about in the last few weeks in the way that communities have responded and the way that people have responded. And I think that we have seen a kind of a shift, at least temporarily, in the way that we treat certain people and positions that often aren't revered in society, like shop workers and bin men and cleaners and postal service workers and delivery drivers. These are the people we've now seen that without whom society would absolutely collapse. And I hope that as we emerge from this and return to some semblance of normality in the coming months, that maybe we might hold on to that and we might implement that into a more substantial way for those kinds of people in those kinds of jobs. We might remember that when the chips were down, that society will continue on without executive directors in finance and marketing and advertising, but society will collapse without bin men and postmen and cleaners and shop assistants and pharmacists and nurses and doctors. And maybe that for the lower paid element of those jobs, we might find a more substantial way to support them, more so than standing outside our doors at Thursday at 8 o'clock and giving a round of applause. We might make it possible for those people to afford their rent and afford their own homes. But without getting too political, we seem to temporarily have replaced politics of economics and statistics with a politics of community and support and engagement and people. And I, as negative as the last few weeks have been and as tough as they have been, I think that there has been a huge amount of positivity in that. And evidence of that is the fact that we have nearly raised €2,000 for Childline in the space of a week, just by me doing up a quick quiz on my laptop and sending around a few messages. I'm greatly appreciative of that, and I know that people in Childline will be, and especially the children who access the services that Childline offer, they will ultimately reap the reward of that, and they will be extremely grateful for that. And I have to say as well, it's fantastic to see the level of creativity that people have shown in the last couple of weeks, whether it be by TikTok videos or Tyke Fleming, or by the amount of cooking and baking and exercising that people have done. And obviously, you know, I say that from a privileged position of I'm working from home at the minute in a secure job with a secure roof over my head. Obviously, not everybody is in the same position, and a lot of people have lost jobs and lost their businesses. And for anybody who is struggling, I won't give a Seamus Heaney quote because the government are going to run out of them if they keep quoting Seamus Heaney. But I'll just finish with one, and it's a bit of a sappy one. It's a Harry Potter one. It's that even in the darkest of times, happiness can be found if one simply remembers to turn on the light. So if you can't turn on the light for yourself, reach out and ask somebody else to do it, because there is nothing but people there and support there for that, especially at this time, because if anything, the last few weeks have shown that when the chips are down, people have stepped up. So I just want to say thanks again on behalf of Childline for all the donations and the support. And thanks very much to everybody for tuning in, and I wish you all a happy Easter.